Success is about doing the right thing, not about doing everything right. Gary Keller. And for us, my friends, the number one thing is to be in the markets each and every day, following the charts, practice trading, doing what you need to do to develop the skill set. And as I say every day, it doesn't matter how long it takes. What matters is that you take the time to do the work. And once you master the charts, you'll make up for every minute you ever spent. 10 to 15 minutes, that's all we ask. Dedicate yourself to it. See where the markets are today. Everything is up. Not up a lot. Bitcoin's up the most. But we look at the S&P 500. We see the high last week was 531.52, 533.07. This week we inched higher. Didn't have any volume to really back that up. Haven't seen average volume since we had the interim low all the way back on the 15th of April. That was one reason we did not jump into the S&P, because we did not have at least average. See, we were just below average volume. You might say, "What, Tom? What mattered is that?" Well, when we compare what the S&P has done as opposed to the NASDAQ, that as we look at the NASDAQ, we see that it had the interim low, and then that next sort of interim week where things did not go as low, but then we had a turnaround. We had an okay-sized spinning top, and we had average volume. And things took off and have done much better. In fact, for the day, up 0.95%. Both are up. But as far as percentages and as far as how nice and clean the movement has been, of course, we see that the Qs, the NASDAQ 100, had shown that to us. We have almost a doji here on the two-day candle representing Wednesday and Thursday of this week, and on Friday we have a doji. We can see where we had the big down on Thursday afternoon, and then Friday morning down, up a little bit in the afternoon, and again, like we said, up 0.66% for the day. So again, that's where we are with the S&P. NASDAQ, we didn't have spinning tops. We had green up candles. Now we did have our peak up candle there on the Wednesday, Thursday for the two-day. The Friday, the first day of this latest two-day candle, we haven't hit a high higher than the high on the prior. We look at where we are on the weekly chart, and a nice green up candle substantially higher than the percentage increase as we see on the S&P. So again, nice move, nice switch over, good entry point, and again, a beautiful trade. Hope that you jumped into that and have practice traded this. Again, setting your ATR as your profit and loss band. ATR's average true range. We use a 14 period average true range. We use the two-day average true range on the weekly chart after the crossover to set up our profit and loss bands. And again, very quickly for those who are new, the first time we hit one time the ATR, we sell half. This is just a standard way that we do things. We sell half the trade. We let the other half ride using the market's money. And of course, if the trade does not work out and we hit one time the ATR, the average true range, in the negative, that's when we pull the trade, and then we, again, take a small loss and move on. Remember, your first loss is always your best loss. Let's move on to bonds. What do we see going on there? We've been ambivalent about this because we didn't have anything set up the way that we watch for it too. That is an interim low. We had an interim low, but we didn't have average or above average volume. We didn't have a green spinning top for this turnover. We had a doji with higher than average volume, and it was up for 2 weeks. This week, burning off a lot of that energy. So again, we like for trades to set up the correct way. That's what we expect. That's what we look for, and that's what we trade. And when they don't do that, then we pass on them. There are thousands of things you can trade. You don't have to take a bad trade. Now, will they sometimes move in the right directions and could have been successful? Yes. But what does that do for you? Well, it again teaches you bad habits, because then you are gambling. So that is where we are as we close the week up 0.30%, not reaching the higher high of last week, and again below average volume. As we look at the 2-day, we can see it devolving here. We've got dojis, and they're actually moving down. Don't know that the move's ending here, but again, nothing about it has been strong. Let's go on to gold. Gold up 0.09% for the day. We've gone from, we've gone to, a spinning top, lots of up movement there, some down movement. We still are tracking a trend line. Remember, you always draw them from the bottom up on green candles. We don't have any average volume, have to go all the way back to the week beginning the 29th of April, where we have average or above average volume. Gold has been tracking along, and again, we can see on the 2-day candles where gold peaked on the Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday, and the Friday. We can see the red down candles. We can see strong down movement, particularly on Thursday, and again, up just a little bit here as we ended the week, 0.09%. But gold struggling to stay up. We will be very interested to see what it does as the next week starts. And lastly, HODL, that is, of course, the Bitcoin Trust. It is the ETF that is traded during market hours. And we finally start having this little black dash here is the beginning of our what we've been waiting for so long. It is being able to actually see our average volume, which is nice. Now, as we look at what Bitcoin's been doing, we can see on the 2-day chart where Bitcoin most recently peaked back on the 20th of May. That was the Monday, Tuesday, and then has been slowing down to a spinning top on the first day of this latest 2-day candle. We can see the big down movement on Thursday, recovered a little bit on Friday afternoon. And again, we're just hoping that that trend is going to continue. We will keep an eye on things as we open back up. And I don't think I said Monday during this podcast. I may have, but of course, markets are not open on Monday. They are open on Tuesday. Monday's closed here in the States for Memorial Day. Hope all of you have a great weekend. And again, I will be releasing Charting Cryptos, Commodities, and Currencies. Please listen to that. Hope you get a lot of helpful things out of it. It goes out early to our Patreon members. And Patreon members, of course, you had, prior to today, your weekly vertical crossovers for the week, in addition to your 3-wave trades. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.